Hi, it's week 8. Last week was 7, even though I couldn't figure out, what week it was. Ugh, I hate this chair. Anyway, this week's been good. I've lost 4 of the pounds I gained back, and I've been walking 3 times. It's just been around the block. Feels uncomfortable still, but I'm not having to take tons and tons of anti-anxiety pills to do that, like I had to when my mom was here. Um, I've also been doing my yoga again, which I love yoga. It's so relaxing. I would actually like to just go down to the beach and sit there and meditate. I can't do that because it's not in walking distance, and yeah, I won't take a bus. Anyhow, this week I thought I'd tell you a little bit more about kind of how and when I became agoraphobic. Um, I was 16 when it first started to affect me. They say, some traumatic thing in your life usually triggers a mental illness. And before then, I was a big party girl. I mean, from the time I was 12, I was crazy partying. I thought I was grown up. I thought I knew it all. I didn't really know anything. But when I was 16, I fell in love with this guy. And I thought, oh, this is the one, blah, 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 blah. And then he ended up dying in a car wreck. Actually, on his way back to see me from being, at a party. And that destroyed me. At the time, I had a 1-year-old daughter. She's 27 now. And I was living with my parents because, I was 16. But, yeah, that kind of messed me up. He was the first person I knew who passed away. And it was someone who, well, he was my first love. And that's not one of the best things to have happen. At his funeral, I met his brother and found comfort in that, and we became friends and started dating. And I thought he was a really great guy. And please don't think I'm horrible for dating dating him because of who he was. I was young, and when you're young, you think you're in love all the time. You kind of go back and forth, and I don't think you really realize true love until maybe you're a little bit older and mature. I mean, some people are lucky and they find their first love and they marry their high school sweethearts and stuff, but it's usually high school. So I mean, at least they're later in life. But anyway, back to the brother. I'm not gonna name his name, but yeah, he was super nice to me and a really great guy. And then I decided to move in with him, me and my daughter, and that's when I found out he wasn't all that he seemed to be. We were still partying a lot, and when he would drink, he would get really violently angry. And at first, it was just, temper tantrums and stuff like that, and I thought, okay, I can deal with that. But then he started hitting me. It's hard to talk about, but I need to talk about it. I should probably see a therapist, but you guys don't have to do. He started hitting me on several times a week. At first he just hit me anywhere, and then he got smarter and started hitting me where nobody would see it. And of course, I was one of those people that thought, hey, I can't talk to anybody about it because they're not going to believe me because he puts on such a great front in front of everybody else, or they'll call me stupid for falling for it and getting into this relationship. But yeah, I stayed with him for quite some time. I think till I was 21, and eventually he just didn't care where he hit me, so I stopped going out. From the time I was 18 on, I stopped leaving my house. I would have people over and I would be able to socialize in that way, but I couldn't leave the house. It just it broke me. My I didn't know what was wrong with me, but every time I would try to leave the house, I felt like I was going to die. I realize now that it was anxiety attacks and anxiety, but at the time I thought, oh my God, I'm going to die. And I didn't go to the hospital, I didn't go to the doctors or anything because I figured, you know what, I deserve to die. At the time. I don't think that anymore, but uh, finally I got the nerve to leave him because of something super horrible bad, which I'm not going to talk about here, at least not right now. But I grabbed my daughter and I ran as far as I could, and he kept finding me. And I was young. I'd never really been in trouble with the police, but I'm still afraid of them, so I didn't call the police. And he would tear the lines out of my phone so I couldn't call people, and he would spy on me when I had people over, and he broke down my door on my apartment. It was really, really terrifying. And it made me totally distrust people in general. uh, so I shut myself away, and had more and more anxiety attacks and didn't deal with it. um, I didn't actually figure out what was wrong with me until I was 30, 31, 32. um, and I knew I was experiencing anxiety, but I didn't know I was bipolar at the time. Um, my husband now actually uh, figured it out. He was doing research and uh, convinced me to go see a shrink, and they, confirmed she's bipolar with anxiety and social disorder. So they tried a bunch of different meds. I had reactions and everything, and it didn't go really well. Now that I've moved to California, I'm seeing a better psychiatrist who has me on good meds, so I'm doing a lot better. Um, I'm going to be doing cognitive behavior therapy, but I'm doing it on my own because out here they just charge way too much for psychiatrists, and my insurance doesn't cover it. So I am just going to try and do this on my own, just like I do everything else. I'm stubborn that way. I will continually not ask for help. I mean, it took me forever just to tell my husband when I was having a panic attack so that I could get a hug when I really needed one. Um, I think that's true for a lot of people. When you go through a lot of trauma and stuff like that, you just tend to depend on yourself and you forget there are people out there who care about you and will help you. But anyway, that's just a little bit of history of what happened to me. Um, I'm sure I'll share more if you have questions. I'm not afraid to talk about who I am and stuff. That's the one thing that I've learned. I'm just myself. I'm a sarcastic, funny, outspoken girl. So, yeah, if you have any questions, you can comment below and ask them or private message me, and I'll try and help that. But until then, I'll see you next week, and hopefully I've lost some more weight, done more exercise, and maybe I'll talk some more about this, or we'll talk about something else. I don't know. Anyway, I will see you next week. Have a good one.